And welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. We're going to do another old farts watching anime, and this time Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Z. We're in Canada, so it's hard to wrap our heads around it. For me, it's Dragon Ball Z, but I know everybody calls it Dragon Ball Z. So this show. I've seen enough anime to know that may not necessarily have been a survivable shot.
Over there, it must be Kakarot.
Goku!
Hey! Hi!
Hey, who's the kid?
He's my son. Pretty wild, huh? Wow!
Oh, Goku, he's adorable.
I got questions, but we'll wait till the conversation bit.
Hello, everybody. Oh, hi.
Okay, so that's Dragon Ball Z or Z if you're in Canada. Very surprising stuff in there. Okay, my exposure to the Dragon Ball series, I've seen Goku, the main guy with the black hair, and I've also seen Ritsan, the bad guy in this, and I always thought they were the same guy. I thought this was like multi-generational because there's such similarities between those two characters. And now that we've discovered it's because they're, spoilers, it's because they're brothers, it's like, oh, okay. Because I honestly thought there was like the younger version of the same character, Goku, and then the one that's basically him but with the spiky black hair was just him as an older character and more serious. Turns out, no, totally had that wrong. So that was kind of an interesting surprise. Also, really surprised that he has a kid. Hence my reaction when they did the "he's my son" line. I thought, wow, that's a big departure because the vast majority of anime characters and settings are fairly young, skewed main protagonists and stuff. Like you've got typically teenagers in all of these stories. So for Goku to be old enough to have a son is surprising. But there was a lot of stuff in there I still don't get. And it's now been the first episode. At first I was completely bewildered. How does this guy have the strength to hold a tree over his head and nobody's batting an eye over it? Why is there a green lizard man just hanging out on the cliffs? Who is this evil character that's looking for him? Why does he keep using numbers every time he's talking about oh, that's a power 10. Oh, here comes a power 245. Now that one, I know because there's a big series of video games for the Dragon Ball Z series. And there was a guy that we have watched on a show who did this hilarious talk about Dragon Ball Z. And he loved to throw out, I will just decimate you with my 10,000 power level! And clearly he was making a joke about what is happening in Dragon Ball Z. I guess if we watch more of these, the exact numbers have some relevance or some importance. So I guess that's why the main villain was constantly throwing numbers out there all the time. It was kind of interesting. And only later did part of the story get revealed that at least explained some of it. But I will throw it over to Dee. What are your observations and questions? Because I'm sure you have a few.
Well, let me see.
First of all, boy, did I think we were watching a Superman rerun.
Yeah, well, it's
at first. Then he turned out to be a bad guy. But anyway.
Yeah, it's you kind of like it towards Superman. I kind of like it towards Men in Black.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, with the alien in the Edgar suit. I was kind of shocked at the fact that they actually killed a character.
Yeah. Now, again, as per my comment, obviously the westernized version, you still hear you're referring to the farmer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They throw in a line of him like, oh, my head, or whatever, because they want to show, oh, no, the guy's just fine. But we know, with the comparison for Battle of the Planets versus Gatchaman, there are much more adult themes in the original Japanese anime, and I can be pretty sure. Let us know in the comments below if we're wrong. I'm pretty sure that farmer got shot and killed at that beginning sequence there, so that was quite a shock.
Yeah, I honestly didn't think he had survived either, so... it's a confusing one. You know, him chopping or, well, basically punching down a tree and bringing, oh, this is firewood. And at first I was a little confused. I thought that the girl was not his partner, but possibly an aunt or a mother. And then, you know, it's revealed that no, it's, well, they didn't even say if if they were married or if they were partners or what. But obviously, she is the mother of their child.
Yeah, I'm guessing so. That's something that you're referring to the dark-haired girl in
Yeah.
the early part, right? Because then there's the blue-haired girl later. But yeah, no, I think you're right. If we were to watch more of this series, unquestionably we would find out who she was. How does Goku have a son? And that plot line would all be established and developed. What I found really interesting is how Red-san, I think it is, the main villain, he at least finally explained, because we're like 15 minutes into the show, and I'm just like, okay, so clearly we don't have any context for anything, no explanations. There's just these super karate guys that hang out and can lift trees and have flying clouds that they hang around on and all this kind of stuff. And there's green lizard guys in the desert, which I still don't understand him. But luckily, when the villain faces off against Goku in that main scene, he explains, no, you're an alien who was sent here to destroy the world and prepare it so that we could sell it to the highest bidder. I was like, okay, at least we finally got a little bit of explanation of what this is all about. You know what I'm very curious about, though? So, again, spoilers, and for anybody who's watching this, I'm sure you've seen the entire series and you're yelling at the camera, or yelling at the screen right now. But I wonder if when the main bad guy takes off with the sun early in the show, or at the end of the episode there, is the rest of the series Goku trying to rescue his son? And is that why the series is called Dragon Ball Z? We don't know why it's called that yet from watching one episode. And the only reference is the kid has a Dragon Ball in his hat. So is the name of the series Goku's quest to retrieve and rescue his son? The Dragon Ball is somehow referencing the son. I don't know. I'd be very curious to know why it's called that.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Obviously, all these people, his friends, it seemed like at one point they had all been looking for Dragon Balls, and they must have not seen each other for quite some time, because they were absolutely shocked that he had a child.
Yeah. Well, again, that shocked me, but that was more because I assumed he was a teenager character, and that's...
Oh, well, so did I. But then again, also, the whole, the bad guy character saying, well, where's your tail? Where's your tail? And they had a picture of what looked like a werewolf.
Yeah.
With a full moon. So...
Yeah, it intrigues me because for the very first episode, there's a lot of stuff thrown in there without any explanation about it. And I still don't understand the green lizard guy. Is he an alien overlooking Goku? We assume they know each other. And I mean, unfortunately, my experience with this series is almost entirely from the video games. I haven't played them myself, but all my exposure to it is these fighting games that are usually two characters floating in the middle of a desert, throwing these punches or these energy forces at each other, and then flying at each other at incredible speed. I've seen the dragon guy, or the green lizard guy. I've seen the blonde guy. I've seen Goku. I've seen Ritsun, the bad guy. And so I know there are a bunch of these characters that all fight all the time because of the video game, but I don't get how it's all connected in the story, and it's kind of intriguing. I gotta admit, the opening credit music exhausted me, and I'm just like, I don't know if I could take an entire series of this. This is 1996, actually, I think, after Men in Black that you had mentioned. And I know it ran for many, many years, so I think I would just be worn out following all this high-intensity adventure battling I don't know if I would want to watch more. I feel bad saying that because I know it's a biggie. It's up there with Sailor Moon and Avatar: The Last Airbender. But I'd much rather watch Avatar personally.
Yeah, I mean, I still hope that we are going to get back to Avatar. It has slightly piqued my interest. Like, where does the blonde guy come from? Is he one of the bad guys who has who will eventually come to the planet? Do they get Goku's son back?
Yeah.
And what is the relationship with these with these people?
What is the Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, I mean, it does intrigue me. If I had time, maybe I might watch it.
Yeah.
But
well, there's a lot more. There's a lot more series for us to get through. So.
Absolutely.
But I mean, yeah, I'm glad to have finally seen it. Curious to hear more about it. Maybe I'll Google a lot of it, find out the answers.
Well, you knew a lot more than I did. I've heard of Dragon Ball Z, but have not seen anything. Up until we watched this.
All right. Well, I think we'll call it there. So I guess until the next time, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.
See you next time.